there won't be anything left. So what we'll do is put it on the bottom board, or we just. Are you going to drive it out? There were two of them, 250 and 2600. Hook them up. Keep them in. Tony Beets has been doing this for more than 10 years. Renowned for being one of the most reliable and well-known people in Gold Rush. Well known for his daring approach to mining, talking to each other directly and strong. The values of the family he left behind a legacy for. That made him a popular favorite. But the last few seasons have brought things that people have noticed and are worried about. People who watch the show. Quickly, speculation spread among the Gold Rush community. After weeks of not hearing from Tony, he eventually took care of the problem. What he showed what many had been afraid of, commemorating a big occasion in his story. Who is Tony Beets? Tony Beets is a well-known gold miner and TV show. Famous person who became famous through the Discovery Channel show Gold Rush. More than, over the years, he has gotten the nickname, the Viking, because he is strict and bossy. Clear approach of showing personality on the show. Talking and a powerful style of leadership. Unlike a lot of reality TV stars who fade, Tony swiftly got out of the spotlight and made a name for himself that will last based on actual mining experience and results. He came from the Netherlands and traveled to the Yukon in Canada, where he began working in the mining business. Through his determination, hard effort, and a clear idea of how to run big, he made himself into one of the best, of the most revered people, not just on the show and in current gold mining. His name got very strongly linked to success on Gold Rush, where people saw him take on big initiatives and face problems without fear. For a lot of, regarding his and the show's fans, Tony is the heart of the show. Tough work, taking risks, and the desire to keep. No matter how hard it gets, keep going. Things become worse. Life in Holland as a child. The 15th of Tony Beets was his birthday. Widenees, a small town in December 1959, a village in the Netherlands that farms. People who know him say he came from a family that worked hard and depended on farming as their main way to make a living. Tony says that growing, being up in this setting helped him learn the importance of discipline, accountability, and strength at a very young age. Like, his friends were like most other kids in his neighborhood. Early on, daily life revolved around mornings, hard work, and taking care of the land and animals with not much left to. No time to be lazy. Tony also did it. Said that everyone in the family had a role to play, therefore he rapidly understood that everyone in the household had a part to perform. Knew that job came first. Anything else. By the time he was a teenager, Tony had already done a lot of things that needed to be done on the farm, like using machines, taking care of animals, and making choices that were often left to grown-ups. This early exposure to people think that work helped build the basis for his future work in mining, where people worked long hours and did hard work. Demands were common. He became famous for being strong to everyone around him, determined and honest, and these features later become part of his public picture on TV. Life in Winnese was limited in chances because it was a small neighborhood with not much space for expansion that goes beyond farming. Tony said during interviews that he knew that if he stayed, his future would probably be similar. That of his parents, which was stable, but easy to guess. He still desired something bigger for him. And this wanting change grew stronger after his father had health concerns, which put extra work on his shoulders. The incident made him more grown up, but also showed him how hard it could be to live on a farm without real chances to move up. Tony further mentioned that he in his late teens thought about leaving the Netherlands to construct a future that goes beyond the fields and farming chores he was used to for his whole life. He thought Canada was different, being a place with a lot of chances, especially in fields like building and mining. Even though moving meant he had to leave his family, language, and comfort zone, he made the decision. It was needed. This brave choice set the beginning of the adventure that made him one of the most famous miners in the world. Tony went from Holland to the Yukon. Beets fled the Netherlands when he was young. 20s with a definite aim to build a better future. Whedon had taught him how to live, him to work hard, but he realized that staying would limit his chances. On the other side, Canada offered room, tools, and the possibility to begin again, with not much more than determination and the desire to. He bravely chose to leave his job, country of origin, and start a new chapter of his life in another country. Tony has said many times how he felt when he got to Canada, confronting an entirely distinct setting that was different from what he was used to. The way people talk, live, and act were new to him, and he had to get used to. Was hard. He still started his new life by taking on several kinds of life, by taking on numerous types of jobs that require physical effort, such as building things and working on farms. These jobs helped him get settled and offered him a means to sustain himself as he works out his next step. Life in Canada, Tony said, was hard at first, but now I've never been the sort to give up after. Tony migrated north of Canada after a while to the Yukon, which is famed for its mining, history, and tough conditions. This choice marked the start of a change in his life. Point of his life. The Yukon wasn't for the weak-hearted, since it was an place that needed strength, patience, and the ability to deal with both physical and problems with the environment a lot. People who tried to mine there gave up quickly, but Tony saw a chance where other people saw problems. So he began working for other miners, employing that to learn the ropes and get experience in person. For someone who is new to, it was clear that all of this was true. The early years weren't very glamorous. Being a miner is hard work, but the pay is not too bad, and the living circumstances are not at all comfortable. But Tony was willing to try to get the sector from the ground up. Little by little, he got a strong idea of how mining worked, how operations worked, from taking care of tools to run workers in remote areas. Tony's fame grew over time, and the Yukon expanded because people knew him for being dependable, diligent, and straight. Some people weren't sure regarding their choices. He made practical choices that helped him go forward. He moved from Holland to the Yukon. It wasn't merely a change of place. It was the first big step toward become one of the most well-known current gold miners, who are now a story from the gold rush. 30 gathers every hour. However, for some reason, one of them chains broke, and then they leave. Of course. Yes. So Tony Beets' ascension to years after he had spent time with, years working for other miners in the Yukon before he finally saved up enough money and got enough experience to run his own business. This was a big change in his career because he was going from being working on someone else's claim to being the person in control who would make the decisions that decided whether or not to succeed. Failure. It was hard, but Tony had spent years developing years of work to build a strong base for himself, of practical work, and that experience made him stand out from the rest. In the beginning of his mining business, Tony said that he focused on his business because he wanted to be efficient and get results, knew how to get the most out of his squad, and wasn't hesitant to take moves. While some were unsure about what to do, Tony took risks that generally paid off, even if he had to make hard choices. And this was not because of the ability to change to different difficulties. His simple way of people respected him for how he handled people in the mining community. His slowly growing, his business flourished, and so did his reputation as a miner who could do it. His life changed a lot when the Discovery Channel started the Gold Rush, a reality show about miners going after gold in Alaska's Yukon. Tony first showed up on the show in its second season, which got him working with the people at Hoffman. His straightforward approach and clear knowledge of mining shone out right away. Not long after, people noticed his personality and abilities, and he quickly became one of the most talked about people on the show. As the seasons changed, Tony slowly became a key player in the show. And unlike some miners who depended, Tony relied a lot on luck when mining, focuses on structure, planning, and growing his business. One of the best parts of the show, when he chose to fix and employ a huge antique dredge, which is a piece of Old-fashioned mining tools. A lot of individuals, including the show's people who watched it, believed it was hazardous and ridiculous project, yet Tony pushed and made it work. This moveset made him different from other miners and made others think of him as someone who thinks big and does things quickly. His strong work ethic, dictatorial mentality, ethics, and readiness to speak up. People respected him and occasionally feared on the show and off. He wasn't. Not interested in doing his part on the show to make the cameras happy. What those who watch saw on film was exactly who he was, a miner who worked hard and was determined to build his success after years of hard work. Tony Beets became better over time. More than simply another miner on gold. He became a symbol of experience, leadership, and sticking with it in one of the hardest industries in the world. Tony Beets' brave career and accomplishments due to his strong personality, direct way of talking and looking, which is often has a thick beard and is tough. Clothes that make folks think of the Old Norse. People who explore. Tony Beets got the call him the Viking. More crucially, the name also reflects how he thinks about mining with courage, discipline, and the desire to face challenges, things most people would stay away from. His, known for being a harsh, determined leader, made the nickname stick both on and off the show. During his time as Tony has done well as a miner and a boss, established a mining business that stands out for how big and efficient it is. And this has happened because he doesn't trust luck or shortcuts. Instead, he runs his business with careful planning, strong leadership, and the willingness to take risks when you need to and when you can. This way of mining has helped him to go from being a tiny business to one of the best miners of all time, to being Gold Rush. One of the most important times in his career was his choice to bring back a huge old dredge that had been left behind for decades. A lot of individuals thought the project was too big and would never work, since the dredge is old. But Tony saw promise in the dredging when others didn't, saw failure. He and his team took the dredge it up, move it to his claim, and put it back together piece by piece. Even if it was hard, and he kept on even though it was a costly job till it was working perfectly. This choice made more gold and exhibited his ability to see things in a new way and face obstacles with confidence and not what other people said. Tony's business has always been in the top producers who work on the show. He is in charge of several staff and big machines, making sure that every area of his mining, the procedure is in control and works well. His style of leadership is straightforward and difficult, but it works. Those people that work with him have said that they know that he wants you to give it your all, exactly like he lends his own outside of TV. People in the community appreciate Tony a lot for his profound experience in the mining community. Get hands-on experience in digging gold. He has spent decades of his life comprehending the land, the tools, and logistics needed to do well in the rough weather in the Yukon. His successes don't happen overnight, luck or fame on TV, but the product, with hard effort, smart choices, and the attitude of not being afraid that got him the give the Viking a name. Tony Beets his wife and kids. Tony Beets is rough and brave. His good reputation also comes from his strong family foundation that has been there for him for decades. Minnie Beets, his wife, has been his partner in life and business for 40 years. People knew that the two had met as teens in the Netherlands, where they lived next door to each other, and over time there, the friendship became very strong, a relationship. When Tony made the decision to go, Minnie went to Holland for greater chances, stood by him at every turn. She went to Canada with him, and together they started over and made a new life. Up. Minnie is an important part of the family's mining business, which she isn't only the Viking's wife. She also takes care of the company's money, takes care of administrative tasks, and keeps the whole operation in order. Minnie also has a good head for statistics and a useful way to help keep things in balance. Tony's brave way of leading. A lot. People who watch Gold Rush have witnessed her step to assist make vital choices, showing that she is an important element of their success. The couple has 4 kids, Monica, Kevin, Mike, and their kids, Bianca, each had grown up around heavy machines, long hours at work, and the hard life of a Yukon miner. Fields. Many of their things have changed over time. Kids have gotten intimately involved in the family company, starting with Monica Beets is one of the most fresh faces that people know from Gold Rush. She started working in the mines at a young age and soon showed that she could deal with the hard surroundings like her dad. People have seen her working, equipment, running crews, and a lot of times works in the countryside with her father. Kevin Beets, the second kid, has also taken on a leading position in the operation he is noted to be good at, with tools and mining methods, and he often supervises everyday tasks and aids, make sure that production goes smoothly. Kevin, Mike Beets, who is also part of the team and has done a good job of comprehension of the family's mining style. Bianca Beets is the last of the. She likes youngsters better than the others, to keep out of the spotlight, and is less active in the mining work than her brothers and sisters. The Beets family is notable for their direct way of talking to one another, even if there are disagreements and debates, especially when the pressure is on. They deal with problems by respect and a common objective to face any position they are in. What is their trust in one another that keeps them strong? Another, and their common goal of the company they have developed together. Tony and Minnie have a unique relationship, an example of a couple who not only share their private lives as well as successfully manage a big business on the side, next to each other. Their kids' engagement made the Beets mining operation more of a family legacy than a company. The close-knit organization has been good for Tony. Keep his place as one of the important people in Yukon mining for a long time. The Beets family business. The Beets family has changed what started as one mining operation with Tony Beets into an organized family business that covers a lot of claims and includes different generations working together. Tony Beets is the main person in this mining empire, but everyone works together to make it happen. That includes Minnie, his wife, and their kids. They have been through a lot over the years, had meticulously planned their efforts in the Yukon where they got valuable mining grounds and putting a lot of money into tools to keep their production values are high, not like a lot of mining crews that need support from outside. The Beets family does most of their work in home. Every member of the family has a certain role that helps things run smoothly. Running the business, Minnie takes care of the money and business aspects of make sure the business stays organized and makes money. Tony is in charge of strategic decisions like plans for growth and big upgrades to equipment. Their kids take care of important portions of the everyday work, from running machinery to being in charge. Teams that give the business a lot of needed stability and continuity. The family's main place of business is in the Klondike area of Yukon, a place famed for its copious gold deposits. They have done this over the years, gotten bigger by getting new claims and taking smart chances on big initiatives to get the most out of their gains. One of the most important, Tony's choice to bring back and operate the old Dredge, which needed money and faith in his business. The skills of the team, what makes the Beets different, is one of the things that makes families stand apart. Its strong internal structure that worries about how they don't depend on outsiders to keep their business running. This has made it possible for them to keep full control of their business and stay away from the everyday problems in partnerships with other people. How they handle this business has made the name Beets one of the most well-known names in Yukon mining. The family's empire has also grown, thanks to their public recognition, regularly appearing on Gold Rush, where viewers have seen their collaboration, arguments, problem-solving, and results. Every season, no matter what, no matter how hard it may be, it has made them one among the most stable and productive, the most crews to ever be on the show. Their dominion isn't simply about money, gain, but also about making a lasting legacy that their kids and future generations can carry on, that future generations can continue on. Fans, start to see changes. In the last, dedicated viewers of the show over the past few seasons have begun to see some clear changes in how Tony Beets looks, level of activity, and general presence on the performance. People recognize Tony for his leadership style that is hands-on, and authoritarian personality has always been a major force on his mining places. But fans started to notice that he was showing up less often in some sequences. And when he did show up on the show, he looked to have more energy, judged against how he was when he was younger. On the show, people started to make comments on sites like Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit, together with. People said that Tony wasn't driving big machinery and doing much of activities he would do by himself as often as before. Many longtime followers wrote on these platforms that they have seen how he spent more time watching over operations from a distance instead of being in the middle of things like he used to. A few people also said they saw small differences in the way he looked, which made it seem like he seems to have lost some weight and looked a little older than before the seasons. It didn't take long for these insights naturally lead to guessing. Tony has made himself look like the Yukon Viking who can't be stopped, is a man who has to deal with rough terrain, bad weather, and big machines without giving in. So, it was just when fans started to notice, it was only natural that these small changes made them question if there was something greater going on behind the scenes. Was it age, health, or only a change in how he runs his businesses? Was there a lot of questions that annoyed social media that are social, platforms and forums for debate, dedicated to Gold Rush lighted up with supporters, ready to talk about their ideas. A few thought that Tony was just taking a step back so that his kids can have chance to be in charge more responsibilities. Others, on the other hand, were afraid that there could be personal or other factors connected to his health behind the changes, even though nothing was confirmed. Then, these first observations set the stage for the rumors that quickly spread a lot. Rumors spread around the Gold Rush community, as fans online kept to discuss about the changes that are easy to see in Tony Beets' looks and his part in. After the concert, reports circulated rapidly across the Gold Rush people. Forums on the internet, fan pages, and groups on social media become full of talks, theories, and guesses. Some people who watch think Tony might have health problems, which would be natural because how long he has been mining for gold. In contrast, other people said he was getting ready to step back from his full-time miner role and let him kids take on more tasks. Some posts said that crew members had alluded at something bad is about to happen to Tony behind the scenes, but not officially. These allegations were backed up by sources. Other people pointed to certain times when Tony seems less busy while on the show, using those times as proof to back up their ideas. In fan, even modest changes can get bigger in circles, into significant stories. Exactly what happened in Tony's case. But this, people didn't only guess about his health alone, since some individuals think Tony could be aiming to retire slowly after working hard for decades. Hard work in the Yukon. Other people felt he would be reorganizing his business because of his kids. Monica, Kevin, and Mike had become more involved in the daily operations of the family business because Tony has always been honest and not one to entertain gossip. He mostly stayed. During this time, they were quiet. His quiet made the fire more stronger. Talks and rumors with some fans, worried that something bad might happen on the horizon, hoping they would be guided in on what was about to happen so they may be ready. The rumors got bigger over time, louder, making fans really want to know replies from Tony or his family. Tony Beets said the news is true. 9 o'clock at night is when I pass out. That's when I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's be real. What he does is, after weeks of observing and listening to the rising rumors and persistent, after a lot of online talk, Tony Beets eventually talked about the problem to stop the tsunami. Numerous rumors about him in a simple way that fans have come to expect from him in whatever Tony confirmed that the adjustments were what he said they would be. People noticed were basic. He told her what he had been going through. A time for you and your family that made him take a step back from his typical fast speed on the mining grounds. Tony made it clear that even though he is still very interested in his mining operations, he has begun to change how he works because of his age and how long hard work that is physically demanding in Yukon weather has had an effect on him. Instead of pushing himself to the same speed he did when he was younger years, he has moved more of the responsibilities that require him to do things himself. Kids that have been through a lot. He says that this change is part of his long-term strategy to keep the Beets family name alive, powerful while letting the next generation to take the lead more often with little to no supervision from the elder age. He also said that some personal things within the family needed his attention, which meant he couldn't always be on the not as often as he used to. He didn't go into every detail, but his honesty helps clear up a lot of the wilder speculations that have been going around on the internet. Tony told supporters that he was not quitting the program or mining in place of. He was just getting used to a new phase in his job and life. He trusted his kids, saying they had become strong leaders who know the land and the business. By confirming the news in his customary straightforward, he comforted a lot of supporters who were worried in this way. The worst reactions and Tony Beets' long-lasting legacy. Tony Beets says it's true, caused a lot of emotional reactions from fans, other miners, and others who watched Gold Rush on the Discovery Channel who had been with him on his voyage from the start till now. Many said satisfaction that things weren't not as bad as the report said. Others sent notes of encouragement and respect, and knowing that after years of hard effort in some of the worst mining conditions on Earth, it made sense for Tony to slow down and let his kids do more responsibilities. He also watched over them from a distance. Tony's choice in the Gold Rush community was thought to be an important occasion because he has been with them for more than 10 years and was one of those who are always there and have an impact. A leadership style that is both perfect and bold, clear attitude and capacity to deal with challenges set a benchmark that a lot of other miners looked up to on and off the show. Fans thought about some of his best times, notable parts of the show, like the time he brought back the old Dredge to running a lot of big operations, and honored the legacy he has left behind. People who watch and work in the industry also shown how Tony changed his family business into anything greater than a mining operation. He made a business that will last for many generations for his generation and the next generation, showing what forethought, determination, and what teamwork can do by slowly giving more tasks to his kids while still being involved. Tony is making sure that the Beets will be around in the future. Familial legacy without leaving. Totally. There were a lot of posts on social media about supportive notes from fans all throughout the world. Many people regard Tony a modern icon, gold mining, and a sign of determination. Many people took to their platforms to talk about his narrative changed their life, from wanting to young people who want to start their own businesses and mining, families who understood the worth of his determination to keep going. His trip, they say, has inspired individuals all around the Yukon, reminding everyone that success is never just about luck or when it happens, but about hard work, not giving up, and the bravery to keep going even when the odds appear impossible. Over the years, Tony has grown into more than simply a well-known face on Gold Rush. He has become a part of the show's fabric. His presence, no-nonsense approach, and the series has been fashioned by an unbreakable drive. And how people see gold mining nowadays. People have seen him go through a lot of problems. From tools, failures, and bad weather to the difficulties of running a enterprise that has been around for a long time. Via it, Tony has proven what being a leader is all about, what it really implies, finding a balance between the weight of duty with the great pride of seeing the results of one's hard effort. Even though he has changed his role on and off the show, Tony's power is still powerful, as always. What he left behind is not clear, only by the gold he has taken from the ground, but by the teachings he shared, the strength of vision, the power of grit, and the tie that can't be broken between family members. His narrative reminds us that real wealth isn't measured in ounces of gold, but in the people you help and the mark you leave behind. For a lot of people, Tony's name has come to mean ambition, genuine strength, and genuineness. He has demonstrated that success isn't about not taking shortcuts, but making something, a family, a business, a inheritance. As the next generation takes to keep doing the task he started, they will keep following his example, reverberating through the minds, the machines, and the dreams of those who courage to look for something bigger than gold. Please let us know what you think about Tony's story from when he was in the Netherlands to his decision to migrate to Canada. So tell us what you think please leave a remark below if you like this. Don't forget to like this video, send it to your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. And before you leave, click on the video. That's what's on your screen.